Hello, Durud and Shalom. Guys, what the hell is happening in Sudan? Holy effing hell. What the this this is getting insane. And enough people are not enough people are talking about it. Please like the stream. Your likes really has an influence in more people hearing about this. Well, guys, we cannot not talk about this. I know this topic doesn't get as much attention, and I know the stream is not going to get that many views. So please help liking the stream so that some people see it. If you like the stream, some people will see it. Because guys, we cannot go and tell other people like, oh, why are you not talking about this genocide or that genocide? Why are you only focusing on what's happening in Gaza if we ourselves don't talk about them? Like, we're going to be hypocrites if we don't talk about them. We need to pay attention to this stuff. So let's just take a look.
A video from Sudan's paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, or RSF. Jubilation belying the reports and as yet unverified video evidence of mass atrocities during its capture of El-Fasher in recent days. The city had been the last place in the Darfur region that was held by Sudan's army. Amy Mahmoud is from El-Fasher.
I've seen videos of entire ditches and trenches full of our friends, neighbors, and family members' bodies. And there have been several.
Why is she so calm? She's like, I've seen entire ditches of our friends and families' bodies. Why is she talking so casually about it? Imagine if I see a ditch of my friends and family's bodies, I would be, I don't know, I wouldn't even know if I would be having the will to come and talk about it on his show.
Sure.
I've seen videos of entire ditches and trenches full of our friends, neighbors, and family members' bodies. And there have been several reports of family members, entire families hanging from trees.
Satellite images taken.
Hanging from trees. Guys, imagine if you wake up one day and then you see ditches filled with the people you know in your life and people you know from in your life hanging from trees. That's like nightmare fuel. I don't know why she's so casual.
Monday appeared to show piles of bodies in El-Fasher sitting on blood-stained earth. Some of the few who managed to flee safely say men were lined up and shot. The RSF insists it is protecting the 250,000 residents.
Okay, so I know, guys, people are saying she's being professional, to be fair. Yeah, I just want the shock of, guys, that what's happening in Sudan is insane. Like, I don't know if this is being communicated. I hope we get a video that communicates the insanity of all of this more.
But the United Nations has previously accused it of the ethnically motivated killings of thousands of non-Arabs during the war.
So, guys, let me know if I'm getting this right, because I don't, my area that I cover more is Iran and Israel. It's basically my neighborhood, right? But my understanding is that the RSF group, which is basically ethnically cleansing and doing genocide on non-Arabs, the RSF is Arab, and they're basically continuing the Arab supremacy of the previous dictator that was Bashir. And this is about gold, and the UAE is involved. The UAE, who wants Sudan's gold, is backing the RSF, which are Arab supremacists, and also they're tied their Islamic supremacy to them being Arab. Am I getting this right? Like, let me know. Is that like if it's a good summary of what's happening?
Or those closely watching El-Fasher have been warning about a massacre since the siege began last year.
We laid these options out multiple times over 6 meetings with UN Security Council elements, with US government, with the British government, with the French government.
Peace advocates say little was done to get the United Arab Emirates to remove its support for the RSF.
Okay, so the UAE, by the way, guys, Sudan has a lot of gold, apparently. Isn't it crazy that one of the poorest places on earth has so much gold? Like, the poorest people on earth are living on top of are living on top of a mountain of gold, apparently. right? And so the UAE wants that gold, and they're backing the RSF, who are doing genocide on non-Arabs, to have control over Sudan's gold.
The United Arab Emirates to remove its support for the RSF. The powerful oil state denies it is.
No, so Delta is saying the victims are also Muslim. I think it's more of a racial thing. It is a more racial thing. It's more Arab versus non-Arab. I mean, in their mind, technically, some people could say none of them are Arab, but like at least in their mind, it's Arab over non-Arab supremacy. However, Delta, I do think that they consider themselves to be more Muslim than African, like basically ethnically non-Arab, the non-Arabs. Like I think they have this. So I think Islam and ethnicity is tied together a little bit. So they consider themselves to be more Muslim than the non-Arabs to some extent. Because I do remember that there were reports of, I don't know, claiming that, oh, you guys are not real Muslims because you're not Arab, when there were previous acts of genocide was happening in this region. Unusual AI just gave us a super chat saying, Army, thanks for covering. Well, thank you, Unusual AI, for the support. I appreciate that. So let's continue.
Arming the group. The fall of El-Fasher and Darfur means Sudan is effectively split, with the army.
Oh, look at this. Okay, so we have Sudan. This is the RSF is the red area. The Sudan Armed Forces is the blue area. That's the official. And then the green areas are the other people. Okay, so the UAE is basically supporting these RSF people who are basically Arab supremacists and doing genocide on non-Arabs. And the Khartoum is the capital, so they're pretty close. Okay.
Supported by Saudi Arabia and Egypt, holding the capital and Red Sea coast. Killings in Darfur 2 decades ago were widely described as genocide, a campaign some Sudanese say never truly stopped.
Oh wait, so Jewish Samantha is saying UAE is backing RSF, and the SAF, which is Sudan's official army, basically, is backed by Muslim Brotherhood. Is that right? Let me actually. I know that the RSF is backed by UAE, by the Emiratis, but SAF is. I didn't know. That's new information for me. Let me double check that. That's very interesting.
Presidents and the world leaders don't act right this moment, we will be just sitting and witnessing the final stages of Darfur genocide.
Redmond Shannon, Global News, London.
All right, let's go to this one. Hold on.
The World Health Organization.
I'm gonna double check what. That's very interesting. If what Jewish Samantha said is true, I'm gonna double check that to see if that's true.
The World Health Organization says that it's received reports that more than 450 civilians have been killed in a hospital in the Sudanese city of El-Fasher. The paramilitary Rapid Support Forces are being accused of the killings after capturing the city from the Sudanese army following an 18-month siege. While the army's retreat is a potential turning point in Sudan's brutal civil war, as El-Fasher was their last remaining foothold in the west of the country. Now, this means that the RSF is effectively in control of the Darfur region, and there are growing claims of atrocities in El-Fasher. Now, just to warn,
I wish there was somebody that was like would come here and pull their hair out, because I don't know if you guys understand how insane the bloodbath is right now there. Maybe for that we should go to Twitter. I know this is supposed to be professional, but I just wish that it would be communicated more how insane all of this is. And also I just checked, Jewish Samantha, you're kind of right. I think there's some loose alignment between the Muslim Brotherhood and parts of the Sudanese armed forces, but it's not very clear and formal backing. I think the ties between the UAE and the RSF is more clear than Muslim Brotherhood and the Sudanese army. Okay, but that was interesting.
Jeremy Bowen's report contains distressing images.
People who've managed to get out of El-Fasher since it was captured by the Rapid Support Forces say that RSF fighters have been killing civilians as well as Sudanese armed forces prisoners. The UN has called this the war of atrocities committed since 2023 by both sides. Attacks on civilians, hospitals, as well as torture, rape and executions.
I think this is the worst place on earth now, is the biggest humanitarian emergency on earth, and it happens in the dark, really. There's been far too little attention to what's happening in Sudan.
This has been verified as a university building in El-Fasher. The RSF fighter goes to inspect a room full of dead men. Somehow, one of them, sitting on a bench, has survived what looks to be a massacre. Casually, the gunman raises his rifle and shoots him. With another fighter, he strolls around their victims, making sure no one is left alive. With Sudan in pieces, the leader of the RSF, known as Hemedti, celebrated his side's victory. He said the liberation of El-Fasher was not a step towards separation, it was a step towards national unity, whether in peace or in war. Here in the UK, Mohammed Al-Sheikh, an NHS doctor, lost touch with medics in El-Fasher who'd been monitoring the siege until just after the RSF took the city.
Obviously, hospitals were always a target for the RSF attacks throughout the 500 last days. But this time they went into the hospital and they kidnapped some of the hospital staff. The very first reports that we got, they kidnapped around 4 doctors and 1 pharmacist and 1 nursing staff. And then after that, they demanded ransom from the families of these people.
All right, guys, let me show you some footage. Warning, this might be distressing. I'm just like looking, because I feel like the mainstream news is not really capturing some of the things. Okay, so let me read this. Sana is saying Islamist militias are killing women and children and terrorizing civilians. It's so heartbreaking to see. Loud voices on social media stay silent. Those who have been lecturing us on genocide for the past 2 years are suddenly out of words. Okay, so let's actually look at this video. What is this? Hold on, let me unmute this tab. Okay, there we go. Oh, this is just music. It's just music. We're gonna get a copyright strike. I don't know what's happening here. She seems very much in stress. Oh my God, this is insane. I feel bad. Okay, so I'm not gonna play the music because I'm gonna get a copyright strike. I wish we had the original audio instead of putting music over it. So it keeps it on in your solidarity and support. Okay, so what is this one? This one is from Goldie. Goldie saying, take a good look. The only difference between 650 Persia and 2025 Sudan is that the Muslim invaders didn't have cameras back then. This is what I mean, both sides are Muslim. And this is what 1400 years of rape, torture, murder, and Islamic conquest looks like. This is jihad for the glory of their God Allah. Somebody might say that this is more about gold and resources. It's always about resources, and religion is the tool. What do you guys think? Because Allah is the weapon. The goal is usually wealth or power or resources. So let's actually look at. I don't know if I could show this. Let me actually I'm gonna go back to BBC and play it and watch it to see if it's showable. You guys watch this while I watch that one to see if it's showable on YouTube.
Sudan's war is fought with weapons provided by the two sides' allies. Egypt supports the Sudanese armed forces, and the United Arab Emirates denies evidence that it supplies the RSF. Outside powers have their own agendas, while Sudan splits into 2 halves in a catastrophic war with no end in sight that has killed more than 150,000 people. Jeremy Bowen, BBC News.
Okay, guys, do you think it's fair to say that this is for the glory of Allah, or this is more about, because my understanding is that ethnicity is racial supremacy is the tool, and the goal is agricultural land, water, and gold, and another metal which I forgot. But I think it's mostly about that. But I mean, I'm pretty sure religion has an influence. It always does. It's negative, and it's always negative. But I think that's not the main goal. Is power over, basically control over an area that is rich with resources. So I watched this to make sure it's YouTube friendly. So look, this guy is so happy that they managed to do all of this. Hold on. Oh my God, look at this. This is fucking insane. Look how proud he is. Oh, wait, is it audio?
اللي بيتكلم عنها بيتكلم عن محرقه دي المحرقه امرك كنت اقدر فلنقاي
Look how
والله
casual.
صباح صباح حرقناه فتك والله الحمد لله والشكر لله انحرقوا والله يسووا مشاوي محرقه.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do think that this is more tribal than religious. Not that religion doesn't have some influence. I mean, religion is mixed with society, so I'm sure it does have some influence. But I do think that this is more tribal.
Well, let's cross live to Sudan now. We can speak to Shihab Mohammed.
Yeah, Delta thing, doesn't it look like Nova? Yeah, it does. It does.
Ali, who is a senior program manager for Islamic Relief Sudan. You join us from the port of Sudan. We understand that the UN is describing what is happening in El-Fasher as impossible when it comes to aid deliveries. What is your team, what are your colleagues saying about the situation there?
Guys, I'm seeing a video on Twitter that people are being buried alive. I don't think I could show that. Can I? There's in Sudan, I see a group of people, and some of them are dead, and they're like some of them are alive, but they're being buried together, both the living and the dead. Do you think I could show that on YouTube? I don't think I could show that on YouTube.
Yeah, good morning. Actually, the situation, as you all know, is catastrophic and very sad. The town has been under siege for the last 18 months, and now the situation is becoming even worse with people.
By the way, guys, I don't want to make excuses for Islam. Like, for example, if you like cover Nigeria, okay, the killing of the Christians in Nigeria, that has, I do agree that these are Muslims doing the killing, but the people who are being killed are also Muslims. And I don't know if I'm saying Islam doesn't seem to be the main driver here of what's happening. However, I'm not making excuses for Islam. Like, if we go to Nigeria and the killing of the Christians, like the driver there is very much Islamic, right? So once I see a clear sign that the main motivation, the main weapon is the Islamic ideology, I'll let you know. Like, this is just my understanding right now.
Trying to.
I know. So yeah, I'm saying it's a combo army. Of course, it's always a combo. But what is more, right? Like, there's never a situation where religion doesn't have an influence, because religion is obviously an influence everywhere. But I'm just saying it doesn't seem to be the main factor, right? So if it's a factor, it's like 5%. The resources seem to be the main factor, and the ethnic tensions and tribalism to be the other main motivation here. It just seemed like if Islam is the motivation, it's like a distant factor. Obviously, it's always multifactorial.
The town, but they could not. People got captured in the city. There is reports of killing, and recently by WHO also they reported killing of even patients in the hospital. This is very sad. International community needs to intervene immediately. There was no intervention over the last 2 years. People were suffering, shortage of food, starvation, and shortage of all public services, health, and everything. There is some managed already to flee the town, going to other parts of Darfur, mainly to the north or to the area of Jabal Marra. We are trying to help those who managed to flee the situation by providing.
Okay, this guy's audio quality is really bad. Let me actually look at this one. Dr. Massouf here saying in Sudan, Arab Islamist gangs are kidnapping and rounding up Black Christian women and children for slavery. Oh, okay, that sounds. Over 3,000 have been killed in the last few days. Where's the UN? Where's the Palestinian protest crowd? Where's Greta? Where's Black Lives Matter and so-called human rights activists? Okay, wait, really? Are they? I didn't know this. Let me double check this. Let me fact check this. Is this true? Okay, I'm gonna copy paste this. Let's watch this video, and then I'm gonna go fact check this.
تقدم وجبة واحدة في اليوم الواحد، أي الفطور فقط، ولم تعد هناك أي وجبة غذائية تقدم لهؤلاء الناس، وجبة واحدة في اليوم. لذلك نرى الهزال على أجساد الأطفال والنساء بسبب الجوع في مدينة الفاجر بسبب الحصار.
Okay, I don't understand what this guy is saying. Let's actually look at what Al Jazeera is saying about this, because I'm always curious. Sometimes when I show Al Jazeera, you guys are like, oh my God, I mean, you believe Al Jazeera? I just want to see how they're covering it, okay? Like, I want to see what their perspective is. It's important to know what they're saying.
This is a gold mine in northern Sudan. Sudan is the third largest gold producer in all of Africa, behind South Africa and Ghana. Gold makes up 70% of its exports, and it's estimated 85% of that comes from small-scale mining, not large industrial operations. The country's officially declared gold production has nearly doubled since the start of the war, 65 tons of bullion last year, but the real figure is estimated to be much higher. Analysts say,
my God, imagine this many poor people living on top of this much wealth is crazy.
Most of the illicitly exported gold is smuggled abroad by the paramilitary RSF. Sudan has gold deposits across various regions. These include the Red Sea Hills, the Nuba Mountains and Darfur. Then there's copper, found mainly in the Red Sea Hills and the Nuba Mountains. Copper is increasingly valuable because it is vital for the AI and tech boom. Sudan has uranium deposits in several areas, including the Nuba Mountains, Darfur and along the border with Central African Republic. Sudan also has significant iron ore deposits, particularly in Darfur, Kordofan and the Red Sea Hills. And there are rare earth deposits, especially in the Nuba Mountains and the Red Sea regions. Perhaps Sudan's most obvious natural resource is the River Nile. The Blue and White Niles merge in Khartoum. The river is crucial.
See, I told you it's about gold and other metals and fertile land. And what was the other one? There was another one. What was the third one? I forgot.
For agriculture and the production of hydroelectric power.
Oh, water. So they have water. And UAE needs all of these, apparently. So Sudan is very important to the UAE. That's why they're supporting the genociders.
Sudan also possesses significant oil reserves, especially in its southern regions.
Oh no, they have oil too. Wow, they have everything. They have everything, and they're still very poor. I wonder why.
Some oil reserves were lost when South Sudan gained independence in 2011, but China is a major investor in Sudan's oil. It is transported through pipelines to Port Sudan, a northern city of huge strategic importance, giving access to the Red Sea and international markets. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera.
Okay, wait. Okay, before we go there, let's watch this video. Jeez, is there any killing here? I don't want to kill. Okay, so it says, where's the BLM movement, the campus students, the UN, the human rights organizations, Greta Thunberg, Candace Owens, Angelina Jolie, ICC, ICJ, anyone? Okay, guys, I mean, I know some of these people have been absent, but I don't know if they all been absent. Okay, it's good to, it feels good to just say these things, but has the ICC and the ICJ, none of them actually have said anything? Like, be careful not to say things, and then somebody comes and fact checks and like, actually, Angelina Jolie did say something. So we have to be careful not to just believe these lists without actually double checking. Maybe they, I mean, I'm pretty sure the UN has said something about this. I'm pretty sure they have. So just be careful. I'm pretty sure, like, if I had to bet, Greta Thunberg hasn't said anything about this. I bet she hasn't. The rest, I don't know. But like, I'm just saying, don't believe it until you check it. But let's actually see what's this video.
الله اكبر يا عمك قدام بس عمك الله اكبر الله اكبر قدام عماره الله اكبر الله اكبر اجاري ما جاي ضربتي الله اكبر الله اكبر.
Yeah, so casual. Like, it's so crazy how just killing is so casual for some people. Wait, is it? Did we watch this already? Oh yeah. Yeah, we did this. Okay, let me see. Let me see what's happening here.
These people are trying to escape the city of El-Fasher in Sudan's North Darfur state after the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces took control of the city. The sound of gunfire near them signals the RSF is not far behind. This mobile footage, verified by Al Jazeera's fact-checking unit, shows RSF fighters standing over bodies of people who seem to have tried to cross the barricade the group set up while it laid siege to the city for 17 months. The RSF denies the authenticity of the videos and says they're fabricated. But El-Fasher's resistance committee says many of the estimated 250,000 people who were in El-Fasher have been killed. The RSF emerged from what was known as the Janjaweed, a government-allied militia that fought rebel groups in Darfur when conflict erupted there in 2003.
We have seen them commit genocides of this scale and against the same group of people for the past 20 years with varying levels of intensity. So this was very much a certainty what we're seeing today, and no one lifted a finger to stop it.
It's also accused of sexual violence, forced displacement, and extrajudicial killings in areas it controlled during the first 2 years of the war, before being pushed out by the army to Darfur in the west and Kordofan in the south. It's since stepped up its offensives in Darfur and Kordofan, and monitors say that's happened with increased help from the United Arab Emirates, which has been accused of supporting the RSF. The RSF's latest offensives coincide with reports of negotiations in the US to reach a ceasefire, which could allow each side to maintain their areas of control. The talks were meant to bridge the gap between the army and the RSF, but the RSF seems determined to gain as much territory as possible before reaching any deal with its rival. Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera.
Oh, new images.
Wait, hold on. There was a super chat. Let me see. Unusual is saying, I wonder why the BBC reporter doesn't say mostly peacefully. Oh, because it's not in the US. And thank you, Unusual AI. I know Unusual AI just become a member, and KD Meter just gave 5 memberships to the people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for the support. Guys, even if you're not giving super chats, please like the stream, because I want more people to see this, and liking the stream helps get in front of more eyes, okay? Let me actually show you some other disturbing footage that I found. I just hope that these are YouTube friendly. I don't know if they are. Is it safe? Let me show this one. This seems like it's safer. Children in Sudan are starving too, and don't turn a blind eye. We must not be biased in our concern and compassion. All eyes on Sudan. So let's actually watch this one. Oh my God! Don't put music. Don't put music. It's a copyright strike. And then we have. Hold on. We have this one. People are actually starving in mass numbers. Drew here saying the massacre in Sudan right now are horrific. No street marches in the West. Sad. Guys, look, you can see the bloodstains from space. That's how big the bloodstains are. Ground discoloration. These are basically people being executed in mass numbers. I don't know what's wrong. Oh my God. I do not know. Okay, I cannot show this. What I'm watching right now is people being hung. Oh my God. Is that a baby? Guys, it's a baby. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, I cannot show this. It's a mother hung from a tree with her babies. They basically tied her babies. Like one of them looks 2 or 3 years old, and the other one is an infant. She's being hung from a tree, and her infant and her other child are hung tied to her. Oh, you saw it? This is insanity. Okay, I cannot show that. Oh wait, let me see if that was quick. Okay, so the fact checking regarding Christians being killed. So I wanted to fact check if in Sudan, Arab Islamist gangs are kidnapping and rounding up Black Christian women and children for slavery. So I basically did a fact check on that. So the answer to that is partially true. There is credible evidence of abductions, forced labor, and sexual slavery by militias, including the RSF-linked forces in Darfur and elsewhere. But the victims are mostly non-Arab African communities. For example, Masalit, For, and Zaghawa, who are generally Muslim, not primarily Black Christian women and children. And no reliable source confirms over 3,000 killed. Okay, so apparently the victims are mostly Muslims. Okay, but I didn't ask that. I was asking if there are Christians who are being. I wanted to know if there are Christians who are being targeted because of their Christianity. That's what I wanted to know, and it didn't answer me that. So I don't know. Can this be shown? So why are they putting? They're showing Greta's picture here because she's silent about this. Wait, am I showing this right? Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so guys, I'm not going to show you the full thing, but the guy is like basically posing in front of camera before killing somebody. He's bragging about, look at this, I'm going to kill him. So this guy is about to die. He's like, but so. Okay, so let's not show that. Let me actually put myself full screen while we play that. Yeah. Okay, he died. Okay, so he just killed that guy. Well, like, look how proud he is. Like, look at this. I mean, yeah, wow, you just killed an unarmed person that could not defend himself. You're so strong, sir. Very, very strong. You have a gun and you managed to just kill a defenseless, unarmed person. You feel like a hero? You feel like a hero? Motherfucker. All right, let's actually go to this one.
Our next story is from Africa. It's about a war the world has almost forgotten. The war in Sudan. It has been raging for more than 2 years, and it has torn the country apart. Two groups are battling for control. On one side is the Sudanese army. On the other is a paramilitary group called the RSF, Rapid Support Forces, RSF. Both of them were once allies, the army and RSF. But now they're at war for control. This week, the RSF took control of a city in the Darfur region. The city is called El-Fasher. It was the last major city that the army still held in the region. The army says it withdrew to save civilian lives. But reports from the ground tell a darker story. Satellite images show rows of bodies and pools of blood. Aid groups report executions and ethnic killings. And rights groups say Darfur is on the edge of another genocide. Our next report has more.
Sudan's civil war has entered a new and dangerous phase. After 2 years of war, the country has been split into two. Its army in the north and east, and a powerful paramilitary force now ruling the west and parts of south. That force is called the Rapid Support Forces, or the RSF. And this week it captured the last major city still held by the army in the Darfur region. The city is called El-Fasher. It is the capital of North Darfur state. Now it is the latest symbol of Sudan's collapse. For nearly 18 months, El-Fasher was under siege, surrounded, starved, and bombed. Then the RSF moved in. Its fighters stormed the army's headquarters, declared victory, and posted videos online claiming control. Sudan's army chief, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, later confirmed it.
Everyone has followed what happened in El-Fasher. Certainly, the leadership there, including security, made assessments that they have to leave the city due to the systematic destruction and killing of civilians. We agreed with them to leave the city and go to a safe place so as to spare the rest of the citizens and the rest of the city from destruction.
For those still trapped in the city, the aftermath has been brutal. Satellite images show rows of what appear to be human bodies. Aid groups have reported executions, beatings, and ethnic killings. The United Nations says many of the victims were shot as they tried to flee. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called it a terrible escalation.
It is clear that we have not only a Sudanese problem with an army and...
Okay, so see, guys, this is the United Nations talking about this. This is why you have to be careful when you want to point to it. There is a plenty of selective outrage and hypocrisy here, but you have to be careful when you're trying to point it out. Don't just make a list with assuming, because here the United Nations, I mean, you could argue that the United Nations is not taking as much of a strong position maybe against it as it does against Israel. Maybe you could argue that, but if you say that the United Nations was silent, well, like, I mean, they're not silent, they're talking.
The rapid support forces fighting each other. We have more and more an external interference that undermines the possibility to a ceasefire and to a political solution of the problem.
To be clear, this is not a new war. It began in April 2023. That year, Sudan's two main forces, the army and the RSF, turned their guns on each other. Ruled together after a coup. Both wanted full control, and both have now turned Sudan into the world's biggest humanitarian crisis. More than 12 million people have been displaced. Over tens of thousands of people have been killed. Half the country reportedly faces hunger, and in Darfur, famine has already begun. Darfur has seen this kind of horror before. 2 decades ago, Arab militias called the Janjaweed wiped out non-Arab communities there. Those same militias later became the RSF. They are now accused of doing it again.
I bet you the Gulf Arabs don't consider these people who think that they're superior because they're Arab. I bet you there's a lot of people in the Persian Gulf, I shouldn't say Gulf, the Persian Gulf Arabs would not consider you guys who think you're superior because you're Arab. I bet you they think that they're superior to you because you're not Arab and they're Arab.
Witnesses who escaped El-Fasher say men were separated, beaten, and shot. Women were spared, only to hear the gunfire behind them. The UN says sexual violence is widespread. Aid workers say the city's hospitals have been bombed, looted, or destroyed.
Yeah, I will read the super chats as soon as this few seconds left. Once this video is finished, I'm going to read the super chat.
The world's response has been slow but growing. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Qatar, among others, have all reportedly condemned the killings. The UN has called...
Wait, so who's those Qataris on the side of the Sudanese army to take an anti-Emirati position?
Called for concrete actions to protect civilians. But the conflict still continues. The RSF denies committing atrocities, but an army-aligned group accuses the RSF of executing 2,000 in El-Fasher. Analysts warn the fall of El-Fasher could reshape Sudan's war map. It could mark the start of a divided nation ruled by rival forces. Peace talks remain stalled, and famine is spreading fast. For millions caught in between, the war shows no sign of ending.
Want the facts?
The latest development.
Okay, so let me actually do the super chats before we go to. I have a video from Tommy and his captions. I will read Tommy's caption before. Let me actually read your super chats. Elif is saying, "What do you think of the future of Islam in the Middle East? Will be in the next 50 and 100 years?" Well, actually, it's interesting that you might say that because we have a meeting coming up in an hour and 20 minutes. In a webinar. So let me actually put the link to that in the chat. You guys could join that webinar, and then after I explain to you, so the webinar is called Islam versus the Nation State, and I actually go look at the history of the modern political Islam in the Middle East and the rise of it and the shapes of it, and maybe we could talk about where this is going to go. So yeah, the link to this, this is in our community, World Liberty Battle Camp. If you go to the battle camp, and it's free, so if you go to the community, I put the link in the chat. The link is also in the description. If you go, we already have 126 members, and you can see in 2 hours, if you go to the calendar section and you click on the event, in 2 hours, we're going to have a webinar, and we're going to be talking about Islam, basically politics in Islam. So that might be something that we cover over there. But 50 to 100 years is a long time. It's really hard to predict that, but it would be interesting to see the roots of it so that we could come up with a better understanding on where it's heading in the nearer term future, maybe 100, maybe 10 to the next 10 or 20 years. But guys, join let me put the link again in the chat. Join our World Liberty Battle Camp. We're going to have more webinars there talking about these topics on a more detailed and nuanced and nerdy way in our community, and we're going to get to a point where we have daily webinars where we could talk about these things. Okay, so join our community. Link is in the description and also in the chat. Unusual AI just gave us a super chat saying, "If you ever feel useless, remember the UN and the Red Cross still exists." Okay. Okay, thank you, Unusual AI, for the support. All right, now let's get to Tommy's post on this. Tommy's saying, just like Nigeria, Islamist groups terrorize and kill people of Sudan. Everywhere they go, the same. So let's look at this video one more time, because this is the video that is getting shared a lot everywhere to show this woman's trauma. Okay, again, I wish they would put the original audio over instead of the music. Yeah. Oh my God, I cannot share that. That is insane. Can I show this one? Oh my God, is she getting hit? So I don't know what this is happening here. Let's watch this one because I don't know what's happening here. So where's this? Is this recent? Is this Sudan? Saying she meant nothing to them, killed or raped alike. The Muslim Brotherhood army in Sudan, backed by Turkey, Iran, China, and Russia, killed her for giving water to babies. The Hamas of Africa called her dirty RSF. They prefer starving children for propaganda. Wait, so this guy... Wait, so, okay, guys. This is the anti-RSF side. So this guy is basically against the other side. Are you an Emirati person? Hold on, let me see. Because the other side of the RSF is basically the official army of Sudan. Guys, look at this. I was correct. Look at this. Wow, did you see? I was correct. He's from the UAE. So I don't know if I could trust this post. This guy is calling this Muslim Brotherhood. He said, like, oh, this is so I did a fact check, and I don't know if there's actually a very hard connection between the Sudanese armies and the Muslim Brotherhood. So when somebody posted that, like, oh, look, the Sudanese, these are the Muslim Brotherhood backed by Iran, China, Russia, and Turkey, I asked myself, wait, are you from the UAE? And I promise you guys, I did not check this ahead of time. And then I went and checked his account, and I'm like, yeah, he is from the UAE. Okay, so I'm not even going to play this because I don't know if this is a real video or if this is from Sudan or if he is being on it. Do you want me to play it? Let me just play it a little bit.
البس ثوبك براوي معك يلا وسخه دعامتي بتجيلون في المويه بتدي.
Okay, I cannot play the rest. Okay, so guys, take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if this guy's description of what's happening here is accurate because he's clearly from the UAE himself. I don't know if this guy is actually calling out his own country for backing the RSF side, because the RSF side is the one that is committing, I think, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, most of the genocide, the Arab superiority is coming from your side. The Arab superiority killing the non-Arabs is coming from your side. So it seems like a little bit hypocritical of him calling the other side Muslim Brotherhood. So I don't know. I don't know if I could trust this guy's post. It did get 3,000 likes. I think it was the retweets and almost 8,000 likes. I don't know if a lot of people, guys, I think I want us on this channel to be more nuanced. Like, we want to understand the different sides. I don't want us to be just like simplistic, like, oh, it's just all Islam. I mean, it is. The Islam obviously always have his role, but we should like understand the complexities of each one of these conflicts as much as we can, instead of just basically coming up with a blanket. I mean, you know me, I think Islam is evil. Okay, I think that, but I think we need to also dig deeper beyond this is Islam, this is evil, F this shit, and then call it a day and move on to the next analysis. I think we need to understand the complexities, and understanding the complexities and nuances is not with the goal of excusing Islam. It's not that. But it would help if we understand go a little bit deeper than this looks like Islam, this is evil, that Islam bad. We should do more than Islam bad. Okay, Islam is bad, but I think just saying, oh, this is Islam bad, is too surface level. Do you understand what I mean? Do you guys agree with me? Let me know if you guys agree with me. So let's look at this. Tommy just posted something saying, as Turkey and Iran bankroll the Muslim Brotherhood regime in Sudan. Wait, so Tommy, are you the Muslim Brotherhood regime in Sudan saying the same mobs pushing the Free Palestine disruptions are pushing false narratives as UAE tries to salvage the situation and end the bloodshed? Blame is just what? Wait, are we? Okay, guys, we don't have to take a side on this. Why is Tommy taking the UAE side? Tommy is supporting the UAE. The UAE supporting the RSF. The RSF is doing the genocide. Like, guys, we don't have to support a side, both sides. Like, we could actually call out both sides. We could call out both sides out. I don't think there's any good people in this conflict. Are there any good people in this conflict? I don't think there's any good people in this conflict. Why is Tommy taking a side? The RSF side is is the Arab supremacist side doing genocide on non-Arabs? I don't know. Look at this. It's saying, let me read. Did I read this properly? As Turkey and Iran bankroll the Muslim Brotherhood regime in Sudan, the same mobs pushing the Free Palestine disruptions are pushing false narratives as UAE tries to salvage the situation and end the bloodshed. The UAE is after the gold in Sudan. Blame is shifted towards them. No, blame is not shifted towards them. They're also evil. They're also evil. Guys, do not just because Persian Gulf Arabs are anti-Muslim Brotherhood, that doesn't make them the good side. Okay, so because we have such a bad experience with Hamas, so we are we quickly recognize how bad Turkey and Qatar and the Islamic Republic have been for their support of Hamas. But then all of a sudden, we're too quick to go and support the UAE and Saudi Arabia because they're anti-Muslim Brotherhood. I don't think that's a good strategy. They're also, I mean, even if they are against the Muslim Brotherhood, it's because it's against their financial interests in the region. It's not because they're trying to end bloodshed. The UAE is part of the problem here. Do you guys agree with that, or what do you guys think? Hold on, let me see. Oh, D here. Thank you so much. D saying both sides have been accused of war crimes. The only winners are the flies. The flies and the UAE apparently with the gold. Yeah. But thank you, D. And Neil Bunny saying Amjad Taha was RP'd by Tommy Robinson. Seriously, you don't know who he is? UAE banned the Muslim Brotherhood. Anyone blaming UAE is Muslim Brotherhood. Wait, anyone blaming? I don't know what you're saying. Amjad Taha was RP'd. Anyone blaming? Are you saying that, Neil Bunny? Anyone blaming UAE is Muslim Brotherhood? Is that your claim? I don't think that's fair. The UAE is part of the problem. The UAE is supporting the people who are committing genocide. So I don't know why you guys think that UAE is part of the solution. Look, Neil Bunny is saying, you actually think a respected country like UAE is going to be involved in this? Yes. Oh my God, Neil Bunny, you don't know the history of the UAE? Have you not seen their involvement in Yemen? Like you seriously don't know? Okay, so you really don't know the history of UAE and their involvement in conflicts like this. This is, yeah. I've been following their involvement for the past 10 years. Especially 60. I don't know, when did the Yemeni war happen with the Saudi Arabia? I remember that this channel used to cover that a lot, and I remember UAE's involvement in that a lot. So just because when you go to the UAE, you see everything is shiny and modern and futuristic and war free, don't let that make you think that they are basically above all of this. They're not above all of this at all. They're very, very much knee deep in all of this bloodshed. Okay, let me actually show you something that all of us maybe might agree with. So this account is saying, you won't believe this pro-Palestinian activist in Sudan, while kids starve in a real genocide, he says pray for Gaza. Wait, really? Did he genuinely went to Sudan to ask the kids to pray for Gaza? That sounds insane. Hold on. Okay, wow. I cannot believe this. So this Palestinian activist is actually, I thought he's in Sudan because, okay, so he went to Sudan, finally a Palestinian activist in Sudan. But look at what he's saying to this Sudanese kid, there's a country called Okay. Oh my God, you're serious? You seriously want to teach this kid about? More people need to learn about Sudan. You went to Sudan to teach kids about Palestine? And say, imagine that you have this tent. One day someone came knocking your door and said, I want to come in and have some tea and a little bit of rest. Okay. Oh my God, the kid is really paying attention and listening. So, and the guy say, and after you let him and he stayed, he started considering your home his.
صار يعتبر اني هذا.
Wow, guys, you Sudanese kids should feel very lucky. Look at you with your tents and know that nobody's coming to take. You guys are like, you know about how bad the Palestinian kids are having this? You guys, you lucky Sudanese kids. Look at your tent, you rich bastards. You with all this luxurious tent. Okay, and started saying that the tent was his. And starts kicking you out of it. Like, oh my god, look, you Sudanese children cannot fathom the experience that the Palestinian kids. You guys have tents, but they cannot have tents. Somebody comes in and takes it. So I think actually what he's actually saying, he's trying to explain to them that the Jews stole our land. That's what he wants to. That's what he's trying to say. And I don't think any of these kids are paying attention. And saying, and you start saying, we only let you in to have something to drink, and then leave. This is our tent. So you start asking him to leave. And just because you told him to leave the tent, the whole world starts fighting. Motherfucker, these kids have had it worse than most of the world. These kids have already experienced losing their home. This is not something they need to imagine. I was like, oh, this is what's happening in Palestine. This is what's happening in Gaza. It's really important, guys. More Sudanese children need to know about the suffering of Gaza. This is great. You guys, you're doing the Lord's work, sir. Fantastic. The kids in Sudan don't understand suffering and losing their shit, right? They don't understand losing their stuff. You have to really paint a vivid picture for them to understand what it feels like to live in hardships. Okay, look at their luxurious lives. You need to really make sure you dumb it down and make it very simple so that these kids actually could understand what suffering looks like. Okay. And like they can neither eat or drink. Yeah, tell these fat spoiled kids about kids that do not have water or food. So always keep praying for them. Sudanese kids, you spoiled Sudanese children. Pray for the kids in Gaza. All right. Okay. Because there are also cute little children there. Just they also can't find much food. Motherfuckers. This is insane. Like, dude, we need food. Lord will bring relief to Gaza there as well.
والكل بيرجع لبيته. خليكم عم تدعوا لأمه. يلا. Bye.
Yes. Good thing you told these kids. I'm sure they have all the means to help the children in Gaza. Okay. This is exactly what we needed, sir. Thank you so much for your activism. Let me actually see what we have here. No, let's not do this one. Okay, let's do this one. Saying people are dying from starvation in Sudan. Please stand with us. Guys, we have to make sure that if we're watching this, it's not just for the point of showing hypocrisy. Like, because if we don't care, and if we're just using this as a tool to demonstrate the hypocrisy of the pro-Palestinian side, then we are just like them, because we're using the suffering of a people to make our point. Listen to me one more time. This is very important, okay? The suffering that you see in Sudan, find a way to genuinely care about it. Because if you're coming to this, looking at this conflict, and you're thinking to yourself like, oh, this is a good way for me to show that the pro-Palestine side has selective outrage, and the only reason why they're highlighting what's happening in Gaza is because of their hatred for Jews and anti-Semitism and anti-Israeli bias. If that's the reason why you're covering what's happening in Sudan, then you are basically using the suffering of these people to make your own points against them, which is very similar to them using the suffering of the people of Gaza for them to make their point, right? So let's go. I mean, I'm not saying don't make that point. Make that point, because they are hypocrites. They do show selective outrage. That is true. Okay. So do point that, but be careful so that you don't actually do the same thing. Just be careful that you don't actually become the same as them. And basically look at some of these images and these videos in your own free time, in your own private, and look at it and try to really feel like shit because of their suffering. It's important that sometimes it's good to feel like shit, because when you feel like shit, sometimes it shows that you care. All right. So sometimes feeling like shit is actually our goal, because if we don't feel anything when we see this, then we have been robbed of something very precious. All right. So make an effort to feel like shit witnessing all of this. All right. Let me see. What is this one? Let me look at this other video. Okay, let's look at this one. I hope this is YouTube friendly. It's saying, Lisa is saying, where is the outrage? A father in Sudan sent a final goodbye message before being executed by Muslim terrorists, shouting Allah Akbar. No one seems to care about the massacre of innocent people in Sudan. Please keep them in your prayers. I mean, prayer doesn't work, but your attention does work. I don't know. Let's actually watch this. It's real? Okay, let me see. Okay, I have to be careful. I don't want to show Muslims are massacring innocent people, including Christians. So look at this. What do you guys think about this framing of it? Saying Muslims are massacring innocent people, including Christians in Sudan. Okay, is it on purpose that we do not mention that most of them, I mean, we should care about the Christians who are being killed, but a lot of these innocent people who are being massacred are also Muslim. I mean, the vast majority of them are Muslim. Are we trying to gain more sympathy out of this by not mentioning that those innocent people that are being killed by these other Muslims are Muslim? Is the mention of Christian being killed gain more sympathy that the mention of Muslims being killed? Let me know what you think about the answers to these questions. Let me see. Is this safe to show? Is this safe to show?
يا جماعة في مواطن هنا؟ فيكم مواطن؟ قولوا خير يا جماعة داري مواطن واحد كده يا ما تباركوها يا
I don't know what's happening here. I know the things that I'm saying is not the things that might get the most views. Because I think, like, if you guys, if I lean in heavily to one side is the best way to grow this channel. You know, like if I am very, very anti-Islamic. You know that, okay? I just want to make sure that in our mission to try to show what's happening and analyzing it, we don't become like our enemy, right? And I know, oh my God, I cannot show that one. Okay, I cannot show that video. I was going to show you something, but I cannot show that. And I know me trying to be careful about this is going to cost us, because it's not going to help us grow. What do you guys think? I know that if I just come and just say, like, I mean, it's more simple to say Islam bad, and Islam is bad. Like, let's be clear. It's simple, it's more understandable, and it's easier to grow a channel. But I just think like it's lazy. Okay, Robin is saying, as a Jew, I pray for my Christian brothers and sisters who are persecuted by Islamic extremists. All eyes on Sudan. Yeah, I don't know about this, guys, because I think all the innocent people who are dying in Sudan should be our concern, not just the Christians there. I mean, this is kind of tribalistic as well. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this is like, I think, like, look at this. All eyes on Sudan's because of the Christians. So what about everybody else who's dying? What about everyone else who's dying? Like, is that not like there are more people, there are more non-Christians, that there are more innocent non-Christians that are dying. There are more innocent Muslim people who are dying in Sudan. Like, do we not give a shit? Do you guys give a like, guys? Am I basically just talking to a crowd that does not enjoying what I'm saying? Do you guys, let me know, be honest with me. Do you guys care about the innocent Muslims who are dying in Sudan? Do you or do you not? Somebody's saying, not really, sir. Yeah, so you're saying, but I'm not sure that's what the message means. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I pray for Christians. Like, but why? What? Okay, but I'm asking, why Christians? Why do you not like? Why is it not everyone the target of one's attention? Like, why is it about Christians? So okay, most people say I care. Yes, Amir saying, Armin, I do not. So you don't care about innocent Muslims dying? You do not care? That's not good. Okay, Torah is saying, yes, I care. Delta, okay, Torah, that's great. Delta says, I care. That's good. Okay, so most of you care. This isn't... Okay, Seymour is saying, this isn't a religious war, it's ethnic based. Yeah, so it's mostly ethnic and it's ethnic and resource based. Islam has some impact, but you're right. It's mostly ethnic and resource based, more than Islamic related. I agree with you on that. And I appreciate that you understand that as well. Okay, let me see. Yabs also gave us a super thing saying, I'll try to be more focused. It just drills down into your after 2 years of lies. Yes. Well, that's what we're here for. That's what this channel is here for us to evaluate these things. Decent caring is tribal as well, I guess. Yes, it's true. Like, honestly, it's human to be tribal, so I understand it. I completely understand it. But, I mean, it's good to try to do better. Like, it's good to... I mean, I completely understand it. Like for example, guys, obviously, if I see somebody from Iran suffering... For some reason, it connects with me some more because we're all wired to be somewhat tribal. So I get that. Like, it's human to be tribal. You cannot get rid of it. So I don't want to act like I'm better than everybody else. Like, it's human to be tribal. But it's also good to point it out when we're seeing it to like, okay, let's try to make an effort to care about other people as well. Even though it might go against our nature to some extent. It's good to make an effort. It's good to make an effort. Yeah, Flying Robot Talk is saying we should care about everyone in the biggest tribe of all humanity. Yep, that I mean that's easier said than done because humans are wired to be tribal, right? And even if we try that, not all of us are going to succeed 100% all the time. Like, we might say it, but it's not. But it's a spectrum. It's just good to just remind each other. Like, even if we're not successful, and we don't have to be completely successful, okay? I mean, the same way that you care about your family more, you might care about your fellow countrymen more. You might care about your fellow people within your own tribe more, for whatever that tribe is. It's completely natural to be like that. But it's also a good thing for us to remind each other from time to time to also care about others. How about that? How about we not make it an absolute? How about we don't just give in to tribalism 100%, but also don't become too, don't raise our expectations of our fellow humans so high to a level that is unreasonable because it goes against our very nature. How about we try for something in the middle? We make, which is basically making an effort to go to, sometimes at least, go beyond our tribe and care about people outside of our tribe as well. I think if we bring the expectation a little bit lower, it's an easier ask, and because it's an easier ask, we might be able to achieve it more. All right, so guys, and let me actually, this is all I had to share, but let me just tell you one more time that in our community, we're gonna have our, you can see in the top of our community, says in 44 minutes, we have an event. Let me put the link in our community. Guys, our community is called World Liberty Battle Camp, and we're going to have many events every week in this community. And also, guys, if you just joined the community, you could also just post here and talk to other people. You can see the community is becoming very, very active. I put the link in the chat. The link is also in the description. And in 44 minutes, 43 now, if you go to the calendar section, you can see there's this event that is coming up, which is, the name of the event is Islam versus the Nation State. And basically, here's the description. We trace how Islam's ideology shifted from faith to empire, from the fall of the caliphate to movements like Muslim Brotherhood and ISIS, centered on the Ummah, a political project rejecting borders and seeking a global Islamic system. Okay, so we go basically as a historic analysis of modern political Islam, which is happening in about 44 minutes. Again, I'll put the link to the community one more time in the chat. And then if you want to find the event, if you go to the calendar and you click on the event, you can see the link to join the event right here. Okay. And then after we go over the topic, you guys could, if you want to talk, you could raise your hand and I'll bring you up to speak. And if you're listening to this at another time and the event is already over, just participate in the conversations that we have on the main page of the community. Okay. Again, the community is called World Liberty Battle Camp. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for being here, and I'll hope to see a lot of you guys on the event that we're going to have in about 42 minutes. And don't forget to like the stream. I think we did a good coverage of this. If you disagree with my points, or if you agree, leave a comment in the comment section after the show is over. I'd like to read your comments and see what your perspectives are. But do like the stream so that more people become aware of this genocide that is happening right now in Sudan. All right, like if we want people to actually care about real genocides that are happening, then you could do that by simply liking the stream. Okay, and subscribe if you're new here, but don't just subscribe, hit the bell notification, because the bell notification is where it's at. Okay, the subscribe does have some effect, but not as much as the bell notification. Unless you hit the bell notification, YouTube might not tell you. Okay, and please also advertise our YouTube channel, Atheist Republic. That would be very much appreciated. See you guys soon in our community. Love you guys. Even if you disagree with me, I appreciate you guys telling me in the chat why I'm wrong. And I'll see you guys soon. Okay? All right, guys. Bye. Oh, wait. I'm Israel Chai, Javid Shah.